My name is Jeffrey, and I've been a great day to you here. I know that in North Carolina it's blue skies and nice temperatures, and I'm loving life. For about 2 years, I've been talking about a radical new company called OnPassive and the shift that's been happening all around us. That shift, which is global, affects nearly every system we have, and believe it or not, it's centered on decentralization. A paradigm shift is just a basic change in the approach that we have for working assumptions that underlie our models of systems that we have. An example of this is when Pythagoras said that the earth was round, not flat. Well, that was a big change in the science of the day and resulted in our understanding of the world changing. Well, on passive is telling the online world that truly successful business models are round, not flat. Do you remember the Industrial Revolution? Yeah, me either. It started about 1760 and completely shifted manufacturing, the lifestyle, and the economics as we knew them. Not all paradigm shifts are huge like that, but some are. And some of them can shake up a society pretty good and even put us on a brand new trajectory. So, despite what corporate controlled mainstream media would have us believe, our world is in the early stages of a paradigm shift that is affecting many of the basic elements we live in and thus affecting our lives. There are many things that can indicate these in our systems. In this video, we're going to talk a little about three of them: internet, media, and currency. Since I'm passive is the up and coming king of the internet, let's talk about that first, because that's got to be the greatest invention in the history of man. Never in our known history have we had global access to such broad and deep information. There have been three paradigms in the internet in the last 3 decades, each lasting about 10 years. The first one started in the 1990s when we had the original paradigm, and it had portal sites like Yahoo and Lycos. Portals were easy to spot because of a big red square that we don't see in today's Yahoo. Those squares held categories of information. Almost all portal sites had this on their home page, and the portals tended to be the most profitable and influential internet companies of the day back then. The 2000s brought in our first shift. Google, as you would imagine, drove the first paradigm shift of the internet by shifting from portals to searches. And Google was an all out beast. It destroyed almost all portal sites to become the most successful tech company of the day. In the 2010s, social networks came to life as the paradigm of the internet shifted a second time. It went from searches to social networking just to let us know how connected we really are. Facebook became a tech superpower by snagging billions of global users from all over the place. But it also caused a lot of problems, ranging from personal privacy to democratic integrity and a lot of stuff in between. And right on time, OnPassive entered the world stage and is adding momentum to the third shift. As part of a much bigger shift to the Internet of Things, bringing automation through connectivity, OnPassive rolls in like a freight train to consolidate and decentralize the online presence through a total Internet solution that is completely automated, based on connectedness and mutual benefit, and fueled by AI with heart to fight corruption, spread wealth, and level the balance of power. The online space is OnPassive's home turf, and let me tell you, it is doing some terraforming. Commercialized in the West since its onset, but nowhere near its peak, the internet has given rise to the age of information. Not only is it giving rise to information to which we have open access, but it allows almost instantaneous, unlimited global communication. As a result, people are waking up to what's really going on in the world. And it's very important that the internet stays an open, decentralized system where everyone can freely add to and or operate in so that the paradigm shifts continue because it feeds almost every other shift there is. OnPassive got its start almost 3 years ago. Now, even before officially opening to the public, it rivals tech giants like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. Based on projections, it's set to be a multi-billion-dollar artificial intelligence information technology company immediately following its public launch. If you connect the dots here, right, with the indicators, you can see that OnPassive is a global catalyst for the online marketing and the internet business shift and more. It's an abbreviated internet that promotes honesty, integrity, and transparency personally and professionally. A radical new business model run by AI with heart, OnPassive's total internet solution fits neatly into the internet's paradigm shift for decentralization and transparency. As such, OnPassive is the shift for the online marketing model to guarantee the success of its members and has a plan in place to do it. So, get on board and strap in. Life is about to get a whole lot better. Another indicator for the shift is independent, non corporate online media. Entirely driven by the internet, the use of this type of journalism has skyrocketed in recent years for those wanting to stay informed, especially the younger generations. People are continually moving away from other forms of media providers like the internet, cable companies, and turning to online sources. Because of this, the internet now harbors the most widely used sources for current world news, and people are flocking in droves to the online venue. There is a global awakening to the fact that corporate sponsored media is mostly propaganda and less than whole truth, which means the new type of independent journalism is responsible for a new light shining on what the powers that be never ever wanted any of us to see. Consequently, this offshoot of journalism can be the catalyst for world peace as we see corruption being exposed and the airing of all sorts of dirty laundry. The movement is allowing a whole lot of people to deprogram from the fake news media to see more of the world through a much cleaner lens. OnPassive CEO and founder, Mr. Ash Mufareh, he's seen the corruption firsthand. Because of this, he's leading the online paradigm shift that has a platform housing its digital ecosystem that's going to disrupt both the current online marketing model and the online business model. In a Herculean effort to be the correction to the corruption, he has created a solution that gently forces our success by creating a clear path to success for the 97% who have never ever experienced it. Like the internet and new media, OnPassive has engaged decentralization to do what has never been done before through a done for you model that's clean, ethical, scalable, fresh, fair, incredibly valuable, and has the benefits of a global stimulus plan. I hope you got all that. You know, man, I'm telling you, it's an incredibly well thought out business model with a very generous, never before seen compensation plan that's so radical, there's nothing we can even compare to it. The third online shift involving OnPassive is going to allow millions to get financially unstuck and guarantee success through powerful, sustainable digital marketing platforms that are connected and automated across other platforms such as the world has never seen. So get on board and strap in. Life is about to get a whole lot better. How about a remix of global currencies? That's a big sign of the occurring shift. We don't hear very much about the very real threat of the collapse of the US dollar as the world reserve currency, do we? Nor are we likely to, not on mainstream news anyway. But you know what? It could have severe repercussions, globally, I mean. More than 60% of all the foreign currency reserves in the world are in US dollars. But some of the biggest economies on earth have been making agreements with each other to move away from using the US dollar in international trade. And the central bank controlled economies issuing credit and 0% interest through nearly unlimited money printing? Ha! It's an illusionary paradigm that's starting to crumble because there's nothing tangible behind them. According to economist Stephen Roach, the U.S. is facing a dollar collapse by the end of this year, 2021, and has a higher than 50% chance of a double dip recession. And it's not just the U.S. dollar going under this threat. There are other central currencies like the euro and the yen that are in trouble as well. Great big equity bubbles are being inflated by this cheap credit, not to mention the massive debt that's only going to benefit the very elite and be almost impossible to pay back in this current economy. Listen, entire countries are waking up to the fact that these bubbles are going to bust wide open and they're already starting their shift away from the dollar. Examples include the buildup of the new central bank in the economies of the countries of the BRICS group, right? With corporate transactions, get this, in the countries that have gone from 26 billion to 388 billion in 15 years. BRICS is it's an acronym for a group of countries that include Britain, Russian, Indian, Chinese, and South African countries, right? They carry more than 20% of the global foreign direct investment. It's no small wonder they want to come up with their own payment system. Well, they're not the only ones. Lots of countries are passing trade agreements by wanting to bypass the US dollar. And this is a global problem because it's not just fiat or paper currencies that are being affected. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are shuffled right into the mix and threatening the entire paper currency system. And if that doesn't worry you, then do a little research about the petrodollar. Man, that's going to keep you awake at night. All in all, the currency shift is ongoing, and it's another reason to be thankful for OnPassive. OnPassive will not only assist with global decentralization, it can help stabilize global currencies through its massive digital ecosystem, currently consisting of about 50 departments. Think about this for a minute, okay? OnPassive has been developing and is in the process of opening to the public not less than about 4 dozen complete businesses, each of which is expected to be a standalone billion-dollar company, and many of them are going to be worth much more. Think with me a second here. I believe there's going to be at least 1 million founders by the time we open to the public. According to projections, we're expecting at least 100 million customers by the end of the first year, with billions in the years following. Keep in mind, the company will generously share its profits with its founders and resellers. Incidentally, OnPassive's pay plan is so radical, not only is there nothing like it, there's nothing in existence to compare to it. Personally, I'm thinking quantum finance, but that's just me. I really have no idea what that brainiac, Mr. Mufara, and his teams have come up with. But considering what we know, we see OnPassive could well become the greatest wealth generating company to ever grace this planet. So, founders are going to be a lot more than just successful while creating a culture of ethics, transparency, compassion, and giving. When viewed in this light, we can see OnPassive creating a decentralized distribution net for untold billions, with a B, billions of dollars. In essence, each founder will become a powerful touch point for abundance through our own philanthropy. It's a 10-cent word for our own charitable giving, and we can be having that funded by any or all currencies to lift up humanity through lifting our own families, communities, countries, and beyond. And who better? By putting such massive economic power back into the hands of the people, we promote decentralized monetary stability in all its forms while helping to care for the people's needs through every culture on the globe, because we are in every culture on the globe and all working for greater good. So get on board and strap in. Life is about to get a whole lot better. So no matter where you are, if this message resonates with you, you need to join us now. If you've been invited by somebody, get back with